hello to all our 50 subscribers.
Yeah, he's joking, but it's true.
It's true. So at the very start, let me ask, please, if you're seeing this in some way, try to subscribe. Just look up Hazan Udaya on YouTube, and it's Hazan or Hazan Dash Udaya is the
it's our name, it's channel name. However, it's very important for us for you to subscribe so that we can also generate better. We will be also enthusiastic about next month.
I mean, we are enthusiastic, so it's sometimes we are doing this for a lot of it for our own benefit and also to share what's happening in our circle, right? So good.
But however, we spent the month of June across 2 continents, right? We were in Turkey, Germany, in Europe. Then we are in Canada right now.
Yeah, and right now we're coming to you from our home in Canada, in Regina, home / our business office location, let's say. Our lawyers are actually on the 7th floor, just below us, a couple of floors below us. Yeah. So it's very
convenient,
right?
Yeah.
We have this condo, which is kind of like a residential commercial building, which works for both business and home.
Yeah. So I will go back to beginning of the month. So we started the month with ILA Berlin.
Yeah.
Which we found very, very beneficial, especially companies like us. And maybe before deep diving, I'd like to also talk about how we go to those trade shows, fairs, how we prepare beforehand, right? Maybe it's a good tip for the people who are just starting. We don't just show up on the shows. Beforehand, we do a good study, right? We just study on all the exhibitors, who is coming, and we also watch on LinkedIn who is posting that they are going to be there. They will not be maybe the exhibitors, but they will be the visitors.
Yeah, and that's also, it's a good opportunity for you to reach out to your own network, right? And just ask them, are they going? Because it's another interaction point, right? So just a trigger to get in touch with someone, even if you might think they may not be going, it's good to always, it's a good connecting point.
Exactly. Don't just wander around booths or the exhibitors, but just focus on your meetings. But of course, in between the meetings, during those lunch breaks, coffee lineups, you always see your ex-colleagues, maybe customers, maybe potential customers, your friends. Yeah. It's a very nice way of to catch up.
Now, we never get the chance to do this, but when I used to go to trade shows in the past, I always carve out like the last day to sort of, just be inspired, right? Walk around, get ideas and so on. But we're always rushing. We have it, we're keeping it to 1 day, sometimes for smaller shows, and then 2 to 3 days, 3 days mostly for the bigger shows. And quite often, I mean, we don't really have, in the end, we don't have a lot of free time.
Because we are trying to keep it lean, right? The most efficient and effective and productive way. So as you know, those shows are like expensive to stay one more night. And also you have also limited time. We need to also keep the business going. Yeah. So we are trying to focus on the most efficient way.
Yeah. Sometimes I think these show organizers make more money than the industry itself, because it's like, everything is so expensive when you have a major show happening in your city, and hotels can be over $1,000 per night. So it's an expense, definitely.
But this time when we were in ILA, something was different for us, right? Yeah. After 4.5 years, for the first time, I felt so much more welcomed in the show.
I think it's because we were just, people were recognizing us more, right? Yeah. And I think it's a combination of what we're doing. Like this, maybe not to the 50 subscribers, but on LinkedIn, we have at least within our industry, we have a good following. So that's sending a message, and people are recognizing us as a result of it. And I think the other thing is business just takes time, consistency.
It takes time. You need to be very patient. You need to be very consistent. You should not give up. Resilience.
Yeah, like if you're building a business because you want results tomorrow, guess what? It's not going to happen, right? And it's time, it's consistency. So, we're not, by any means, we haven't arrived anywhere. We're still early in our journey. But it's nice to get a little bit of acknowledgement from the industry, to feel like we are
on the right path.
On the right path. Yeah. I think that's the...
And I know that you went to Aero Frederikshavn with Yağmur previously.
Yeah.
But it was also my first time having one of our engineers with us in this kind of air show. I think it's also, I want to also talk about it because it's a recognition moment for me. I felt
Yeah.
so proud when she was there and how she was interacting, because she's a very technical person
Yeah.
with the other professionals.
Yeah.
I felt so proud, protective, and also, like it was like mix of feelings for me.
Yeah, I think Yamur is very technical, but she's very, very professional, and she's very, she articulates really well in front of people. So
Correct.
almost, it was nice for us to sit back and not struggle with the technical aspects sometimes, because she was really explaining a lot of what's happening with our loads and our elastics team to our prospective people that we spoke to. So it was really cool.
It was very cool. And we also met with SMEs like ourselves,
Yeah.
who were trying. They are actually engineers, but build their own companies.
Yeah.
The company sizes are small, maybe like us, or maybe even smaller. But we met with them. We talk about opportunities,
Collaborations, alliances.
Yeah.
And I think it's really important, right, for us to create these small alliances, because at the end of the day, when you're small, you have to first survive. And so if you can form this sort of semi-formal relationships which allow you to spread the work when you get a heavy load of work, and work together, it's really good. And then for us, I mean, it really goes back to also building trust.
Building trust. And it's important to say that like competition is healthy, right? It's not like being rivals, but working together.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's going back to the days of when you were kids and playing well together in the sandbox, even with the kid that you didn't like. So it's kind of like that a little bit. Competition is healthy, and we have to play together.
Yeah. And also there were big partners. I know you had a post also about collaboration opportunities for like Clean Aviation, Fraunhofer, DLR, those institutes. Their goal is to bring technology and collaborate with industry. But it's really hard, really difficult for small companies like us to get into those consortiums.
Yeah, I think this is something that happens everywhere. Not just it's not a Europe thing. It's not a North America thing. It's everywhere. A lot of time, these institutions or these organizations that are the head of the consortium is usually an academic institution or a government not-for-profit organization, and they're trying to drive research and technology, and a lot of times they're starting by looking at the OEMs, and the OEM, the largest player in the ecosystem, have their own agenda and their own thing, so they don't really consider what's the interest of the SME itself, right? So, and I think that to an extent needs some change, and because at the end of the day, when you look at all the statistics out there, it's the SMEs that are really the biggest, collectively, right, are the biggest employers of engineers and people. So a large amount of economies are driven by the SMEs. So I think that's something that we need to look at, and how do we flip that pyramid around, who's driving it, who's more agile to drive some of this technology. And so that typically, if you look at it, who has the least amount of bureaucracy? It's the small companies.
It's true. So they were all good discussions, getting some attention, and seems like everybody is aware of the topic.
Well, the young people. I mean, I was pretty impressed with the people from Fraunhofer, DLR. They and they're fairly young engineers. They chose to go into these institutions rather than go into the industry first. And I think what's going to happen as a result of this is they're going to come out a lot stronger. And when they do eventually enter, and I think most of them will enter industry as well, and they'll be so much smarter for it because they understand,
the backbone, right? Yeah, definitely. And so of course there are also, so Europe defense is increasing the spending, and also the companies are growing from there.
Yeah.
And Quantum System is one of them, right? We know them from the couple of years back.
And Quantum Systems is in Germany, in our backyard, right? So I mean, I remember at the beginning of our company, and we were at one of the shows, I forget which one, maybe it could have been at ILA Berlin or something, where we went, and they had a small booth, and one of the co-CEOs was there, and we got the chance to meet him and talk to him. And I mean, nothing further than that at that point. But but that was only 3 years ago. They were fairly small, and today, they were valued. They had a funding round at 1.2 billion, valued at over 8 billion.
It's crazy.
These are staggering numbers, and it just shows what's happened in that landscape over in the last couple of years. And Germany is, Germany is obviously leading in the sector in defense at the moment in Europe, and there's plenty of money going into that. And so contrasted to a couple of years ago when Lilium went under, could not find the money to stay alive. And so this industry is so dynamic. Obviously, defense is the catalyst here, but it is a massively dynamic industry.
Definitely. Then after ILA, we came to here, North America. And first we went to Montreal. Montreal is kind of a home to you, right, in Canada.
Yeah.
And because of our Japan days, we have also a lot of ex-colleagues, friends living in Montreal at the moment, and we got a chance to meet some of them, and it was so inspiring and also exciting for me when I listened to their path since the last time.
So Montreal is the third largest aviation hub, right? So next to Seattle, Toulouse, and then it's Montreal. So Montreal is becoming it has been a big player and continues to be a big player. And like you said, Canada is home for me, right?
Yeah.
So I spent several years in Montreal. I did a lot of business the entire time in Montreal. So yeah, definitely. And I got to catch up with some friends, right, from my network, and introduce them to Hassan as well. So that was really good for us to spend time there. And we got to be in the room. We got invited to EVIO. EVIO is a hybrid regional airliner that has officially launched, and it's pretty exciting to be in the room when a new program is launched. And the inaugural event was for their office in Montreal. But it was so exciting, and I think there was a bigger excitement for Hassan as well.
Yes, like I know the product, the company is very exciting because we are also part of their development from the beginning. It's also very proud for us. But on top of that, the event was hosted by Chris Hadfield. Canadian astronaut who went to ISS space 3 times, and he also commanded ISS 1 time. It was such a big event for me to meet with him, and I got to also talk to him. He talked about Turkey and how big the country and beautiful the country is from space.
And how long it takes.
It takes like 3 minutes from one side to the other side to go from space. It was so inspiring, and also seeing him how caring about the world and the technology. And also he is investing in technology by himself, right? Like it's an amazing.
He's a strategic partner to, I think, to EVIO as well in this venture, and he actually emceed the whole event. It's really, really good to see that. And then there was a significant investment by Boeing Canada into EVIO as well. And that's, whenever Boeing invests in something like that, that is a show of strength, right? And so we're excited for EVIO, and we're excited to see where this program will go. And that was a fun event. And the one thing I have to say about the people at EVIO are, and some of them we actually have worked with in METAC before, but even beyond that, they're a bunch of very humble people and clearly hand-selected because they're very smart. That goes without saying. But their humility, even at the co-founder level to the through the layers, I think is impressive.
It is. And the board, right? The board is also aviation professionals.
Absolutely.
It's like with that board, you can put any idea and they will know whether it's going to work or not. Yeah.
One of the board members was former GM of Skunk Works, Lockheed Skunk Works. So that gives you a little bit of perspective.
Definitely. And before that, actually, we went to Elite Wings.
Elite Wings is a media company run by Viswanath Tata and Abdul Majid Jalio. And I was invited to participate in one of the panels focused on small to medium enterprises in business aviation. So talking about some of the challenges with respect to talent, how do you compete with talent against OEMs? And I think my answer was quite simply, we don't compete, right?
Yeah.
We have to play a different game. So
for me, that event was interesting because I'm not from the business aviation world. I know your background
Yeah.
is from there. Like, it was interesting to listen their challenges, their problems, their also wins, their day-to-day operation. But I think in the end, the core of everything is people, right?
Yeah.
It showed me that it was very nice. Thank you, Viz, again for inviting us. It was very nice to meet with all those inspiring people. So industry is the same, aviation, and the core is the same, people.
And then sometimes business aviation gets a bit of a bad rep, because people say like, well, you're helping these ultra rich,
Wealthy.
ultra wealthy people to travel in style in business aircraft, and but the thing is, that is an industry that's billions and billions of dollars, and it's contributing to the economy, and there's so many not so ultra rich people working in it, right? So just regular people like you and I are working in this industry. So it's contributing to the economy at the end of the day. And it's in one way to look at it, it's helping, yes, the executives travel faster, get to where they want. If you're invested in a company, don't you want your executive to be not wasting time on security screenings at an airport, and rather get
time,
to
right? Time is the most valuable thing that we have.
That's the biggest commodity we have.
Yeah.
Right.
If there's a way to use it more efficient, why not?
Maximize it as much as possible. So
exactly. And I talk about the people, right? Like, so we were in different parts of the world. We meet with people, but I think the team in general, let's say for some of the people in their head, is about them being stuck.
I think a lot of times when you think about engineers or anyone in a professional career, at one point or the other, you're going to hit a bit of a wall, right? And you're going to feel like, okay, you're going to start to wonder what's going to happen next.
Yeah. And also especially for young professionals, I see there is a big misperception about their priorities and the current life. Right, the current moment actually. So I'm reading this book, and it talks about what you need to prioritize at the beginning of your life, right? There are these buckets that you need to fill to fulfill your goal in the end, to reach your targets. You cannot reach your targets overnight.
So you're talking about The Diary of a CEO.
Diary of a CEO.
Stephen Bartlett's book.
It's an amazing book, by the way.
I haven't read it yet.
Yeah. But we are following also his podcast. He's really inspiring with his guests. Anyway, he's talking about these buckets, okay? And like, for a young person who is starting new, knowledge is the first bucket. So you cannot reach to your goal without filling up
acquiring knowledge.
Right? And then skill. Skill, you need to be patient to build those skills. I think it is the misperception about young people. They are so impatient, and they don't wait enough, or they don't put the effort enough to go to the next phase. Then after a long time, maybe they always think about, if I were to choose more technical path, or if I were to choose more management path.
Yeah. Well, I think look, at the end of the day, you have to be a sponge at some stage, and early stage is the best time to spend as much time as possible to gain as much knowledge as possible.
Exactly.
And especially right now, like, you have knowledge at your fingertips. It's not like 20, 30 years ago when you had to read books, when you had to experiment, when you had to do things, when you got to go to university or whatever. But at the end of the day, you get that data or the information through some sort of the hard way, right? Reading pages and pages. But right now, you have the ability to master something, like, to a certain extent, not master maybe, but like you can get a pretty good, build up pretty good knowledge about something in a couple of days. Like, in 20 hours, you can learn to have a pretty decent website built today.
Sure.
When, let's say 10 years ago, that was not the case. So I think that's one thing. And then the other thing that I struggle a lot is this advice out there about passion. Find your passion and everything will fall into place. I think, and I put this in a post, it's one of the dumbest advices, especially when you give it to young people. what are young people supposed to know their passion? Like how?
And today they like about, I'm just making up, they like about music, and tomorrow they will like about, I don't know, art.
Your taste change, right?
Yeah.
Your and also like what at the age of, let's say, 20s, early 20s, what's your what is the data set you have to pick from? Your data set is like so narrow.
Very narrow.
So you may like, yeah, like you said, music, but like, oh, I'm going to build a career out of music because I'm so passionate about music. When you haven't experienced a whole bunch of other things that,
Just like our son, right? Last year he was saying, I will be a gamer. And
Yep.
this year he will be a football player.
yeah, last year he wanted to be a gamer, and then like, so talk about games on
Yes.
YouTube, and then now it's I don't, I'm just going to become an NFL player, so I'm good.
Yeah.
And then but then I've also have this side gig in Pokemon cards, which is like which to me is like gambling, really. Teaching kids to gamble. But anyway, yeah, so I think you don't really have any idea until you do a bunch of things. And first thing what you have to do when you're young is learn, acquire as much knowledge as possible, and just do volumes and volumes and volumes of work.
Yeah. So I think just to wrap up, focusing on the right priorities
Yep.
will make you go reach your goal.
Yep.
And not also overthinking about your past or future.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think you have to you just take, be present, right? I mean, the advice about the past is the past and the present is the present, the future hasn't happened yet. So just be present. Forget about what's happened in the past and don't think about too much about what's tomorrow. Just do what you got to do today. Right.
Definitely.
Step by step, and have a vision, but not so focused on where you want to go at especially at 20 years old.
Exactly. And while wrapping up, what is next for us? I think July is a very exciting month because Farnborough International Air Show is happening, and it is one of the biggest show of our industry. I personally feel very excited to go there and meet with colleagues, ex-colleagues, customers, potential customers, and see how industry is doing.
Yeah, and I think what to expect. I would say that we probably see a lot of defense activity happening in Farnborough. And you know what? Remember last time we got to have kind of a fun. We rode a double-decker to Farnborough, right? So they have these buses that take you from specific places to the show grounds, and we got to go in a double-decker.
On top of it. Yeah, it
Open.
was very cool. It was very cool.
Convertible double-decker.
It's like also experiencing all Londonish stuff, right?
Yeah.
I think it's nice. And then obviously Vertical, one of our customers, we believe that they will be one of the highlights of the shows, and we will also talk about it on the next
show. We'll be excited to see and see what all the fuss is about.
Exactly.
It'll be I think there'll be a big celebration of sorts.
Yeah. And of course, we will come back to North America. We will try to grow our business here. We really appreciate how Canada is welcoming us, and we have already some potential collaborations. Yeah. Hopefully, they will turn into a real customer base for us.
Yeah, I want to also shout out to Economic Development Regina. In Saskatchewan, they're really helping us in connecting us with people, and we're part of this program as well. A scaling program as part of their initiatives, and we're grateful to be part of it. And Saskatchewan is super friendly. Regina, the people here are, Canada in general, people are friendly, but here they're extra special.
Yeah. And our team, how we are doing with HSB, how we are doing in LIP. We have some news. Our team is growing and some changes are happening in our business, and we would like to talk about it next month as well.
Yeah, we're scaling the business, and also I want to shout out to our team, who's we're working with a very narrow time zone overlap right now because we're in Canada and they're mostly in Europe and Turkey and Japan. But we're grateful that they're keeping things in control, and the business is really growing without us and scaling without us.
Yeah. Thanks to them. And thank you, everyone. If you are here already watching us, please just send this video to your friends, to your, professional colleagues. If you think that they will also benefit, they will enjoy watching us.
be that 51st subscriber, 52nd, and 60th, 100th,
Yeah.
whatever. But please subscribe and you know what? Just let us know what you like to hear,
Exactly.
because this is kind of a free flowing thing, and we're enjoying it.
We are really enjoying. Thank you. See you next month. Bye.
Bye bye.